This is day 25 of the 30-day reading challenge, and today's book is Pet Sematary, a horror novel by Stephen King. My copy of the book is 395 pages long, and it took me about 4.5 hours to read. Stephen King states in the introduction of the book that this is his most frightening book, at least for himself. It's based on an event in his own life, and because he was scared so much by the book, it almost didn't get published. Here's a quick synopsis of the first part of the book. Louis Creed and his wife, Rachel, along with their children, Ellie and Gage, and their pet cat, Church, arrive in Ludlow to start a new part of their lives. They meet Jude Crandall and his wife, Norma, from across the street, and they get along well. After settling in, they find out about a pet cemetery, where all sorts of pets and animals are buried. Beyond a deadfall is an ancient Micmac burying ground. On his first day of work as a doctor, a severely injured patient named Victor Pascal whispered something to Louis alone before dying. After that incident, Pascal also leads Louis to the pet cemetery, warning him of the dangers of the place. A few months later, Rachel, Ellie, and Gage leave to visit Rachel's parents. Louis is alone with Church. However, Church gets hit by a truck and dies. Jude, allegedly overtaken by seemingly supernatural powers, leads Louis to the pet cemetery and the Micmac grounds, where he buries the cat. Afterwards, though, the cat strangely comes back alive, though changed, and this is the start to a series of unfortunate events in Louis and Jude's life. I won't talk about the rest of the book since I'd be spoiling some of it, and I know if you want to read this, that would be pretty bad. This is one of the rare horror novels that I've read, and it was indeed thrilling. However, it wasn't really horrifying for me, probably because I don't really relate to it. Everyone's horror tastes are different, and each person is stimulated by different fears. This one just didn't click with me, that's all. As such, it seemed to be way too long for me. However, it is quite interesting, and I did find myself immersed in parts of the plot, particularly when Louis went to bury his cat, and towards the end of the story. I do like the epilogue, and I think it's a nice ending to the entire story. However, there are plenty of parts, now that I look back, in which I could have skipped. That being said, if you're looking for a scare, this book is probably best suited for those that believe in myths, God, resurrection, or fear the dead. If you have a pet, then this might scare you as well. Overall, I think the book is well written and contains plenty of character development as well as suspense. It's just the target audience is pretty narrow in my opinion, and if you don't become scared, it may seem overly long, detailed, or underwhelming. Nonetheless, it does provide an interesting take on how humans deal with fear and death, and how impulsive and emotionally driven we are. Humans are indeed fragile beings. So that's my book for today. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let me know. Also, if you have any comments or insights on the book, feel free to share them as well. Thank you all for listening, and enjoy the book.